You are listening to Directions from a Spiritual Tour Guide podcast. I am your host, Chanel Scott. I'm a psychic medium and energy healer who has been supporting those on a spiritual journey for over a decade. I'm your tour guide into the world of the unknown, showing you that the magic of the universe is at your fingertips. I believe spirituality is simple and fun, and this podcast will make it easily accessible, giving you the real talk on all things divine and spiritual, helping you to step into the flow, manifesting your dreams because we all deserve to be living our best life. Are you ready for an adventure? Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to a new episode of Directions from your Spiritual Tour Guide podcast. Thank you for waiting for me. I hope you've enjoyed the weekly channeled message on the Monday all summer long. It's taken me a long time to get my feet back grounded and ready to record the Thursday podcast again. So thank you for your patience. It's greatly appreciated. Being away for most of the summer, helping my dad with my uncle's estate really took up a lot of time and a lot of my bandwidth. It really did not allow me a lot of space for anything else. So I've been playing a major game of catch up since I've gotten home again, and I'm almost back to where I need to be. Still a little behind, but it is part of the process. So I am so grateful to be back though and recording for you guys. And today, I wanted to talk about your soul blueprint. And it's interesting because Spirit hasn't given it to me this way before. But as James Wedmore often says, I do adore him. If you like some business / spiritual journey, he is your guy. Go listen to his podcast, Mind Your Business, and his beautiful fiance, Jenny, who is so intuitive. They are just an amazing pair that I'm so grateful to follow along their journey and done his program. So I digress. He often says, as he's teaching, the quality of the questions you ask determine the quality of the life that you have. And I think that is so important. And I know that's not his. I don't know who actually said it. I've looked it up and it doesn't really say who said it originally, but it is so true. And I'm always challenging myself to ask new and different questions, to rephrase things in a different way, to shift the energy of the question. And today I did a little bit of that in my daily journaling, connecting with my spirit guides. And it was interesting the things that came through. And there's always an evolution of my work, and I'm fully aware of that. And today they talked about our soul blueprint, and they haven't referred to it like that before. Our soul blueprint, they showed me initially like unrolling a big piece of paper. But then they showed me that there's all these layers. And they always try to give things to me in a way that makes it really easy to understand and to share with people. And I so appreciate that. Because sometimes when I talk in these really general ways or about things that make sense to us, we have this understanding in a deeper level. So what they explained is like blueprints. If you think of blueprints of a house, there's all these layers to it. The foundation, the first level, the second level, maybe the third level, depending on where you're living. There would be different diagrams or blueprints for your electrical and your plumbing and your HVAC and all sorts of things, right? So there's all these layers to it. What windows to put in, what doors to put in, like all of the things, it creates layers and layers upon layers. And it's the same thing with us. So I love to share about the frequency of creation. This is the moment in time when you chose to come here to Earth and have a human experience. It was created out of pure love and your desire to come here and experience being a human. And this is the purest frequency of ourselves. Again, created from pure love, it is our highest vibration, our highest frequency of ourselves. And that's like the foundation of our house. It's the foundation of our blueprints. From there, we make decisions. And it is the decisions that we make that create the next layer of our blueprint. So by choosing to come, we created that we're going to build a house. And then from there, we choose our parents and we start to create our foundation. We start to create the structure of it, the framing of it. So everything is these layers. The choices that we make create. So the way they showed it to me is that backwards, we can go backwards to look at things. So you can flip backwards through your blueprint to go and see where things happened, where things shifted, where we had moments where we chose a different path. We can go backwards and look at those things. But we can always look forward as well. And when we started to get into this, then they were like, this is basically like the Akashic Records. It's just calling it something different. And it doesn't make it any different. It's just a different name for it, as there is so many times over in spiritual practices, we call something different, but it's basically the same thing. Semantics, and that's about it. And I'm all about the vibe, and I'm not really about the semantics of things. So energetically, even in the Akashic Records, we're reading into possibility. We are not necessarily reading what is, because the choices that we make in our day-to-day life affect our future. And this is why even when I do a reading, I say to people, I am reading this moment in time, and everything we do when we are finished can change this by changing your thoughts, feelings, and actions. The choices that you make change the outcome. And I always like to include for the better, I hope. So when we look at our blueprint, we can see the possibility of what is available to us in our lives. We can see the opportunities. We can see the potential of what could come next. It isn't necessarily what will happen, because if all of a sudden we change trajectories, those possibilities are going to shift and change as well. The magic of this blueprint, though, is this ability to go backwards and look into things as well. So it's interesting because, of course, as I'm saying that, what pops in is past lives. And we love past lives. They're so fantastic. So the way that Spirit has shown me past lives is that the frequency we hold in our body today is connected to a frequency in that lifetime. We may not have lived that lifetime, but energetically we hold a frequency that is the same. So part of our frequency, you could think of it as part of your DNA or your energetic makeup, is the same. And so it shows up. So we could all go back to the same past life potentially if we all had the same connection to it. Or the person next to you, whatever. But it's this piece of connection and frequency and energy. We love to talk frequency around here. Love, love, love it, because it makes a lot of sense when we can talk about it in really like factual frequency. So our past, we can go back and actually go into those moments in our blueprint and ask about those time frames. Ask about things that happened and understand our past better. We can connect to our past life experiences and have the energetics and the information and the understanding from our past lives to understand better what is happening in this lifetime. This is about our healing journey, our healing process, and it is about connecting to this information, which is the answers that you are looking for. It was funny, they said our destiny isn't written in the stars, it's created in our belief systems. And I was like, yeah, that's practical. Thank you. I love the stars, so I'd love to think that it's written in the stars. But the reality is cosmically the energy has something to do with it, but how we react to that is also a huge part of it. Can we narrow it down to one belief system that we all spiritually believe in? No, absolutely not. And I think that is something that I am really proud of, is really holding space for all our perceptions, our beliefs, our views on all of these things. And I think that's what's really important. I will never ask someone to change their belief system. I will show you what I do, but I don't ask you to believe in what I do or what I say. So you can take this with a grain of salt, or you can allow it to settle into your system and wonder if it holds great power and presence for you. And I hope it does. But it is really about honoring who we are and where we came from, honoring what we believe in. But our belief systems are such a huge part of our upbringing. We can go back in our blueprint to our root cause. There is a period between choosing our parents, yes, it can happen that quickly, to about 15 years old, where we will decide what our world looks like. We will decide what stories, what belief systems that our world holds. And I always say it's really interesting that we can have multiple children living in the same house with incredibly different experiences of the exact same thing. So don't think that your experience of a certain thing is the same as your parents or your siblings or the other people in the situation, because that's not the case. Everybody is going to perceive it in their own way. Now, the part about this that's always like, oh, is that we created the belief systems that we still carry now when we were max 15 years old. I don't know about you, but I love my kids, and I would not let any of them control my life at 15 years old. I would not have let 15-year-old me probably make big decisions in my life, let alone now as almost 50, going and looking back and going, hey, 2-year-old me made these decisions and I think they're fantastic. We look back and go, a child with no experience or very little experience and very little wisdom decided that this is what the world looked like for us. And we think that that's just great and we're going to hold on to it till the day we die. But what happens is we run into the roadblocks and the obstacles that get in our way and we go, why does this keep happening to me? Why do I keep repeating this pattern? Because when we look for the answers or the solution, we look in the here and now. We don't go backwards far enough to realize where the root of the problem actually happened. And I say this from a place of experience. When I start digging into things and it just keeps taking me back to the exact same moment and the exact same experience, I'm like, how does this keep happening? And it blows my mind. And it's just that awareness that that belief system I've carried forward, and how am I changing it? So our blueprint is a way to access that. So you could access, if you want to call it the Akashic Records, you could access it as your soul blueprint. You could connect to your higher self. There are so many ways to do this work. It is your choice. But today I really wanted to highlight the whole idea of a blueprint to just kind of be like, this is how we write our destiny. So by going back in time and acknowledging the things that have happened, we can also look at where things started to shift and change. And if you're willing to do the work, the soul work, you can absolutely start to see where your belief systems were formed. Why? And it's always safety, because our body will always choose safety. Your body will choose safety over your dreams if your dreams, goals, and wishes do not hold safety in your body. That's why manifestation doesn't work for so many people. If you don't believe and feel like it is safe to attain the thing that you are trying to manifest, it won't happen. It is the part of manifestation that so many coaches leave out. It is about our identity and it is about our safety, and those things combined is what creates. So by going back and understanding why our body was trying to keep us safe, we can have acceptance around that, because without acceptance, again, you're not going anywhere. We have to have acceptance around the things that have happened in our lives. They have formed us into who we are. Avoiding them makes it seem like they haven't happened, which means then we can't heal from them because we're not acknowledging them. Healing happens through acceptance. And then from there, we look at the new belief systems we want to create. Again, the challenge of that is sometimes we don't hold safety in that new belief system. So the question will become, what baby step can I make that I do have safety in to be able to create a new belief system or work towards the belief system I want to hold? Our root chakra, our Muladhara chakra, our base, that beginning, that first chakra is safety and survival. If we don't have those things, we can't evolve. If those things are not in check, everything up from there is not going to be in check either. There is going to be imbalance. The balance starts from the root. It starts from creating safety and security. So flip back through that blueprint and see where it disappeared, or see where you created an idea or belief system around safety that no longer resonates with you. Blueprints, who would have thought? And it's funny because every time I look at the blueprints, I totally see stars and planets. I see astrological things. I don't actually see house drawings, which I love. I much rather see the moon and the stars and the planets and the things that all create all of those things, because they do. They have energetic pull. They have, those pieces. So if you remember nothing else today, remember that your destiny is not written in the stars. It is written in your belief system. So what do you believe in? Thank you. Thank you for being here and listening. I'm grateful to be back. Thank you. There is lots going on. I'm back to kind of a regular schedule. The 2026 Soulful Mystic Planner is dropping momentarily. I am just finishing the cover, and it normally comes to me really quickly. And this year it's not, and I feel like there's a really big reason and purpose in that. So stay tuned. That is coming. Pre-sale will come on first. It should be a really quick turnaround this time. Pre-sale will be the same as it was last year. It'll be $33, and price will go up after 2 weeks to $45. So get in that first 2 weeks if you want to get yours at $33. Night with Spirit is the second Friday of every month. We will not be doing October because October we're going to actually move to the last Friday of the month, which is Halloween, and we're going to do another Haunted Halloween, a night of divination tools, and connection with spirit. So we're going to do a seance, we're going to do dowsing, card reading, we're going to bend spoons. Have you done that before? I'm working on it still. So that'll happen on October 31st. Yoga Nidra, second Friday of the month. The next event is actually past life regression. We talked about that today. I do a meditation style past life regression. It is a really different experience. I love the experience of past life regression. People come out and are like, wow. So if you want to join me for that, it is on Zoom on Wednesday, September 24th at 8 p.m. That happens the last Wednesday of every month. Yeah, lots going on. So newsletter's dropping ASAP. I'm just waiting for that cover to finally land, and then it'll be out. So yeah, thanks everybody. Again, I'm so grateful for you being here on my journey with me. Thank you for letting me be your spiritual tour guide from my heart and soul into yours. Have an incredible rest of your week. Bye now.